Peace, everyone. Where's your cat, Willie?
You right. I gotta go get that. Hold up.
Hey, peace, everybody. Just trying to get I was trying to get this tech stuff going, like I'm dealing with a whole lot over here, which I'm not. What's going on, brother? Brother Elvis, something you want to talk about, or you just something you just got?
I do, but I don't want to unless it's okay.
I mean,
what's driving me crazy right now?
You. Huh?
I'll tell you. I know it's off the record. Today or yesterday, this brother shot his 1-year-old baby and the mother of his child. And that was right here around me. Then later on, I hear about a dude who calls himself an incel, or they caught him. He bought a Uzi or a machine gun illegally. He was going to go shoot up sorority houses because I guess women wouldn't date him or nothing. Then later on today, I get into a conversation with somebody mad because the police took a kid to children's services. There were shots fired in the area. So I'm trying to explain to this person the police are responsible for this child and they want to make sure they get home safely. But the child says, I don't talk to the police. So the officer took the kid to children's services. So I'm trying to explain to this person that this how situations are handled. The police officer is responsible for people on the scene, and this person is arguing with me. So I'm just seeing so much chaos and nonsense going around to where I read your first question, said, what's going to make people turn to the Lord? Brother, I'm ready to say they all going to die. Nothing. I don't know what's going to turn people. It's madness. It's madness out here. Okay, I'm good now. I needed to get that off my chest.
You sound like somebody else I know with that last part of what you said.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I was just having that same discussion.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Well,
I wasn't
they had the same sentiments you had. It is kind of difficult to look at the situation and be like, "Oh, everything's gonna be all right," unless you know ultimately what's gonna happen in the future, which kind of related to what brother because brother Willie brought that topic up. Yeah, he sent texted me earlier. So this just happened. This just happened in your area.
Yes.
They drowning in Ohio.
Man, it's getting. Yes, brother.
Like Chicago.
It's not as much, but basically, and it's probably because of the population difference. This is very new here. Because whatever, Columbus is growing ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Because now we got a soccer team playing at the same time, the baseball team's playing, and so I'm gonna just tell you, I'm a nerd. I'm a farm boy. This was a cow town back in the day when I was coming up, and it's becoming a big city, and all the big city issues are coming with it. And I don't know that I don't like it. To be honest with you.
Let me ask you: is that particular city is it more liberal as far as?
Oh, absolutely. City council has gay members. Yeah.
That's not going to help the situation.
No, brother, it's over. But the problem I got was really scaring me is I think we talked about it the other day, and I said these kids are going to make Hillary Clinton seem like a genius when she was talking about predators, child predators.
Yeah, that'll be forgotten though, because that was deemed as racist and false.
Right.
Just like the Monahan report when it first came out was deemed as racist.
Right.
And with 25% of Black children born out of wedlock seen as a crisis, that was seen as racist to even point that out. unfortunately, you do have, and again, a lot of that goes to stability in the home. I'm a firm believer you got mother and father together raising a child. You don't have what you have in some of these situations.
You're 100% right, brother. That's absolutely right.
Now you said something about an incel as well. Is that recent? That's recent.
Yes. They just arrested him yesterday. I think it was what's the university? OU down in southern, I think it's southeastern Ohio University Bobcats. He was down there, and his plan was because women didn't like him. He joined that group, and since women were rejecting him,
that's not a group.
Well, apparently this incel group is the reason why I say it's a group. They have online chats and stuff, and they have names for the women that aren't interested in him. He's involuntarily celibate, is from what I came way that reads. And they have chat forums. They even consider them a hate group.
More than that, they'll be gonna be deemed as part of that T group in a minute. But that's like more of a philosophy. I don't want to say it's even philosophy. It's more like a, like you said, involuntary celibate, where that's so broad.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like he joined the incels. As far as that if
he didn't do it on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
That take that label. They don't necessarily. It's not like they join. They basically usually, like you're saying, involuntary. They get no play from females whatsoever, and so they basically check out in the sense of But now
he wanted to kill women for that. He wanted to kill women because they weren't interested in him.
Yeah. The problem with that is that kind of like how we're saying, I think it's a mischaracterization. I'm obviously not an incel, but I'm familiar with the issue. And that's one person acting on their own can put a dark. I'm not saying I agree with anything they're talking about. I'm just saying that could put a blanket over everybody that describes himself in that way. Because some describe themselves in that way and they just say, forget it, I'm focused. They get to go focus on themselves. You got all kind of different groups like that. MGTOW, SYFBM, you got the incel, you got all these different men, because ultimately they're dealing with problems they have in the Western society that has turned into something that is not in their best interest.
Right.
So but something like that. My question is, and I haven't heard about the story until you just said it, so I'm looking for what I'm speaking from a position of lacking information. My question is, he did not carry it out, correct?
No, they caught him.
How did they catch him?
I think they was tracking him on social media when he
Why were they tracking him on social media?
Because they study that group. Because apparently he's not the first member that identified himself in them chat rooms as because they get together and chat. So they're monitoring them because he's not the first one to act against women. There's a young man in California whose daddy was a director who did the same type of madness because women didn't want to date him. So he went and shot up. He went and shot up some women. So that's why they're monitoring them online. But
so they might basically, did he say,
I have
to look into it. I don't want to ask any more questions because some other things might come out. Brother got his hat on. I find it peculiar they always able to stop some before. We spoiled that plot. How'd you do that? I'm always curious as to how you figured it out. What you got something to say, Brother Willie?
Well, obviously, we always talk about, when we on here, we kind of got to watch what we say. We understand that we're being monitored, but it just seems like they could jump in any group, anything social media wise, and just come into the rescue as, for any given moment at whatever they deem to be, like you say, that T group.
Right.
So at what point do we become that team group?
Already and just for those that may be listening, we do not have those sentiments.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all. But at the same time, any group, black or white, that talks about end time prophecy is being monitored.
Mm.
So, and the reason that they're being monitored, from my understanding, is because it's the fear that one of these groups may try to bring some of those events to pass on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a, and then even when you look at recently in the last administration where they talked about extremists identity, and who you think is on there? Basically any black group that's not in the quote unquote mainstream Christianity would be a part of it. If you think about it, the FBI, I have FBI files on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. These books are this thick. You know, they monitored King, who was peaceful.
Right.
They they had a file on Malcolm before he was released from prison because of something I believe it was because of a letter he wrote while he was in prison. So that whole idea of thinking you're not being monitored or you have some type of privacy, that's a wrap. You can forget that. That does not exist. That exists in your own mind. Mm-hmm. You know, it is what it is at this point. It is what it is. So, but yeah, so that's how that goes. That's any group, from my understanding. That's any group. Any of these groups would be considered on a list. I'm pretty certain of it.
I roll with you. You're right.
Yeah. So
I'm all in. Still, I'm all in still. You know.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? And we said that you mentioned that. When I think about a lot of these people who do crazy stuff for their false gods, I'll be like, man, there's no way people who are in the truth are not going to die for this. They're going to have to. Like, what I mean in the sense of, like, people have lost their lives and been willing to lose their lives for things that were false. I would expect God to say, my real ones better have the same amount of faith as these false ones. These people had some serious faith to go and do what they did for something false. Y'all was dealing with the real God. Lay your head down. And that's how I be feeling like some people not gonna get out the tribulation and they're just gonna have to eat it because you're dealing with the truth. You know, lay it down.
I mean, when you think about it, you can go all the way back to Cain and Abel. How Abel was killed by Cain. What he was operating out of and having that sacrifice that he had was faith. When you look at Abraham leaving the land that he didn't know and going to this land, that was faith. Him about to sacrifice his son on Mount Moriah, that was faith. Mm-hmm. You can go on and on about faith. Walking through the Red Sea was faith. Right. What Moses did, that was faith. You know, going before Pharaoh, that's like you going before the most powerful ruler of a kingdom and saying, hey, these people that you have in subjection, let them go. And, you know, you look at all the way what they did to Jesus, you look at what they did to his disciples in the first century, all of that took place. And the Bible tells you that persecution is coming again. Let me read something since you brought it up. In Matthew the 24th chapter, his disciples, they asked him, they said, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of that coming in at the end of the world? Well, one of the things he told them that was going to take place, he said in verse 9, after he told you about deception, and then he told you about wars and pestilence and famines and earthquakes, he said, all these are the beginning of sorrow. Verse 9, it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Okay, so that's going to happen again. That happened then, but that's going to happen again. And even when you look at the time of great tribulation that's coming upon the earth, he says something here in Revelation, the 3rd chapter, in verse 10. He says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay, so now it's a time of temptation that's coming upon this earth, and even though his servants some of them are gonna die, you know, and that's just something that you know, why people laughing and passing gas, they're not realizing what's about to come upon this earth. This is Daniel, the 7th chapter. And when he talks about this man of sin that's going to come arise during this time, in Daniel 7, verse 25, it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So he can be killing them. And it says, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time. That's 3.5 years. So that's what's coming upon this earth. But you see precedents about how you should behave. Again, when you look at the Hebrew boys, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, hey, it said, bow down and we're throwing you into this fiery furnace. Who is this God that could save you? He said, we don't have to think hard on this matter. We will not bow down to those gods without having set up. Our God is able, but if not, we're not going to do it anyway. It just so happened they were saved. But but in these last days, you have a lot that are going to die. And that's just what it is. This is if you look Revelation, if you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, and it's talking about this man of sin who's going to set up this false image. It says, verse 13, Revelation 13 and 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh his fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he hath power to do in the sight of the beast, because he's going to have power directly from Satan, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So you have to be like in Daniel 3, those Hebrew boys. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand on their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Curious Philadelphia. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now, yeah, brother, it's gonna be a trying time, and you know, you don't know who's gonna be up against that. You know, sometimes we understand the place of safety. You know what I mean? And think, oh, everybody's gonna make it to the place of safety. If you serve God, you can't die during great tribulation. Nah, that's who he's you gonna have some saints that die. You know, we had that mindset, oh, you serving God, you can't get sick. What? Mm-hmm. You know how many people I know serve God dead now? Mm-hmm. So that's not what he promised you. He said you can be resurrected.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the promise.
Yeah, right. That's the promise. Right, brother. Even when you look at what it said about Satan in Revelation 12 concerning the wilderness, it says in verse 13, and when the dragon saw that he was cast out unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, was brought forth a man-child. The woman is Israel, the man-child is Jesus. It says in verse 14, and the woman were given 2 wings of an eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into a place where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent. Now that's the 3.5 year time that that's referring to great tribulation that even we read in Daniel. But he said in that time, you're gonna wear out the saints. But so some of the saints gonna die. Well, that's gonna be confirmed here. So we know that some gonna be in a place of safety in the wilderness at this time. Then it says in verse 16, and they gonna be chased by, they're gonna be chased by him some type of way, in a sense where even a flood is coming after them. It says, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And listen to this, and the dragon was wroth or angry, that's what wroth means, with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, or the remaining of them, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So they're gonna die. And he went to make war with him. How did he make war with him? Making war through this system, through the man of sin. That's in power at that time, that abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Now, brother, you had a question that you sent. You want to go and just, it kind of might be a segue to your question.
I don't even, it's in my phone. I'm not gonna be able to see it while talking to you. You have it in front of you still?
I got you.
You got it?
What will cause people to turn to the Lord?
Was that?
No, it's a different. No, that was
the Bible.
No, it was a regular personal question I had condescending before.
Parental consent? Nope. Oh, I ain't gonna have it then.
You want me to answer right now, brother? Or you want me to wait?
I mean, it's up to you, bro. It's up to you. If you want to segue into it, it's up to you.
So the question was, well, I guess it is related to what brother actually the second part. I think it say peace to you. I have a two-part question. When I know when Christ returns and gathers Israel back into the wilderness, he is going to purge out the rebels before entering the promised land. Is Satan bound prior or post-wilderness, being that the minds of some in Israel will still be rebellious? And when he said he wouldn't send rain to those who don't go up to Israel and worship, is that also a time before Satan is bound, or is it man's natural propensity to sin? Okay, so, well, we know that in Revelation, the 20th chapter, it says that Satan is bound for 1,000 years. So basically, he's only released at the end of that 1,000 years, and he goes to deceive God and make God at the very end. So for the vast majority of that time, he is bound. But that doesn't mean that man is still not flesh. So when you read it, and just for those who may be confused about what's going on, because I read something about the wilderness earlier, you have the wilderness, which is the place of safety during the time of great tribulation, where many of his saints will be during great tribulation to escape the great tribulation. There's no rapture. But then when he comes back, he's going to gather his very elect, who are the nation of Israel, from the four corners of the earth, which they've been scattered into by way of slave ships. He's going to gather them into the wilderness once again, like he did when they came out of Egypt. So that's when he returns upon this earth. And so even then, he's gonna have to, like he did back then in the old days, he's gonna have to purge out the rebels, because people are people. And just like you read in Zechariah, if you don't have, he says what'll be the punishment if you don't come up. Okay, so will you have some that go astray? I mean, man is man, but ultimately it's gonna be peace on this earth. It's gonna be peace. There'll be peace on this earth. So hope that answered your question.
It did, bro.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. Now what else do we have on deck? Brother Willie, I mean not brother, I'm sorry. Brother, hold on one second. Go ahead. Brother Elber, go ahead.
What will cause people to turn to the Lord?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that was something else, brother. That was something else Brother Willie came up with everything that's going on. It seemed like people are still like reluctant to even seek God. I kind of remember when 9/11 took place. I was in college, and them planes hitting in, everybody talking about God. You know, they was talking about God, but it don't seem like that right now. I don't know what you brothers think about that. What do you think, or what do you think would maybe turn people back to God, if it be anything? What do y'all think?
Brother Albert. Get it, Brother Albert.
You already heard me.
That's
Yeah,
why
they ain't gonna turn back.
I am whooped, man. I've never been so disillusioned from what I have seen in people over this last 2 years. Behavior of people. Man, if the Lord don't call them, they ain't coming. I don't know how he called me out, other than I was just confused trying to figure out what was going on. Where I've heard other people becoming deathly ill, and that brought them in. Man, I don't have it. I have no answer for that. And the ones who say that they are following the Most High, and you show them the book, and they deny what's written in the book, I have no answer, brother. I can't answer this. I'm truly believing when it says, like in the day of Moses, people gonna be drinking, marrying, partying.
Days of Noah in the like Sodom and Gomorrah.
He said that's how it's gonna be when he comes back this time.
Yeah.
And I just hope there's more than, I know it says there's a number beyond measure or beyond counting, Brother, I'm having a hard time seeing it. That's how disillusioned I've become since I've been reading this book. That's so. I know I say I'm just a lot of despair right now. Because I'm usually upbeat, happy-go-lucky, cracking jokes.
Where Osteen at, brother? You're supposed to be having a smile.
I know. I'm usually cracking jokes, blah, ha, ha, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not feeling it today,
No, I understand, brother. It's hard when you see people senselessly die. I saw sister, her son and her, they got in the shootout.
Yeah.
On
the guns, man. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Anybody else? Before?
I'll be feeling like today I had one of my brothers call me. Well, my main brother I was trying to get to come on Zoom for a while. And he called me and he said, you mind if I come to your house Friday? I said, sure, if you don't mind keeping the Sabbath. He said, I already know your house rules. He said, that's why I'm coming. So I need to hear something. And it's almost like I'm being teased, because I've been in this situation before where he's like, all right, I'm going to come over and I'm going to, and it's like, you're not hurting me. Like, this is for you. You know what I'm saying? I know what I need to know. And that is my job to walk it. That's my fight. I said, but it's up to you. You got to walk this walk yourself. I said, if I could walk it for you, I would, but I can't. So he's looking forward to coming to my house. And I think he just had surgery today. And I think this is like Brother Albert was saying, and the whole topic of what is it going to take for you to start looking up? Like, you got to get, like, I know my brother's, what he's been through. Very strenuous lifestyle. He's young, 43. Been through a lot of things, and I could see some behind whooping. And I would always say, bro, maybe if you turn to God, things could change. And then it was always, yeah, you're right. Then it seemed like Satan to come and snatch what I just said right out of his ears, and he rebuttal with something stupid. I'd be like, all right, man, whenever you're ready, you know where I'm at. I always kind of leave it at that. So at this moment, I know he hurting, looking for an answer. From what he said is the wife is not giving him the kind of support he needs. And he just feels like maybe it's time. He hasn't fully disagreed with everything I was saying. He just didn't understand. And I think sometimes you just got to look up and at your worst points and worst moments before it's too late. And we had like a long discussion today while I was at work. And he seemed very positive about it. So I'm looking forward to that. See, one person at a time for me is more than enough. If I could just get my, like, it's my brother, you hate to see one of your loved ones just not listen. Just listen. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to tell you what thus saith the Lord. Just listen and read along with me so you can see it yourself. So I'm hoping when he sit down with me Saturday, your lesson is going to knock some sense into him. I'm like almost ready to send you a text like, bro, please say something to these new people coming in, the word, leaving. I'm just like, that's how I'm feeling. Because I'm like, I need something to ring a bell. Yeah. Wow, I got him. I need him to ring. I need something to wake him up while I got him. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a long period of time. And I'm not saying this, to you directly to do something like that. But that's just how I'm feeling. Like, I got him in my grasp. I want something to wake him up immediately. I know that's not English, but immediately I want him to see some word that will bring him right out of that false doctrine he was in.
Yeah. Well, brother, I understand feeling that way, but it's not like I sit there. I have an outline of what I'm gonna go out. That's with the verse. Now I don't sit there and say I'm gonna say this and I say that. I let the Spirit move, and so whatever I say, well, when it's coming from that, from the Holy Ghost, brother. I'm not trying to.
All praise to the Most High, bro.
His word. So if you can't get it from that.
That's it. And I know it, and I know your word's strong. You know what I'm saying? I know, because the Lord sent me here, kept me here, strong enough to do that. It could get anybody, and I know that, and that's why I'm like, all right, just sit down, open your eyes, open your book, ask the Lord to come in, show you this word. So thank you, man.
Okay, it's all praise. That's why I praise Most High. It's His word, and people, they gotta want it though. They have to want it.
Right.
Right.
You can think, oh, I don't know what is it about me or something but you actually, like Brother Ed was just talking about, you, just like all of us, you wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted it. He's standing at the door and knock. Any man will open the door, I would come in and sup with him and he with me. He'll commune with you through his word. But you got to, he's calling, but nobody answering the door. You got to answer the door. Sometimes turmoil and pain cause you to want to open the door because you go through so much. But then a lot of times I've seen people, they go and they get healed from something. They come to the Lord, get healed from something. Oh, they healed now? Oh, I'm out.
Back to the streets.
Back to these streets. There's some women out here, back to these streets. I'm tired of this. Hey, so it's about holding on and enduring to the end. So, right. But yeah, that's a blessing. Hopefully he'll hear something.
Right.
He'll take heed to what thus saith the Lord. Because them lessons, man, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I write a lot of times do that lesson that morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I definitely know what I'm about to say. I get up there, so I pray, and that'd be it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to scream at y'all.
Yes. Screaming in the wilderness for anybody to listen.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, that's his word. So
how's your pops doing, man? I meant to ask before.
He's doing good. I think I mentioned we went to the range yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
You brought pops with you?
He was one of the. I came with him.
You didn't hear pops? One wasn't enough. Then he got another. Then another.
Yeah, I heard. Wow.
He's like, hey, shoot it. But I bought some things and I had wanted to try them out. But yeah, he kept asking, hey man, let's go to the range. So we went. Mm-hmm. No, it was cool.
Nice. Fun. Nice. I'm still waiting to do that. at least once. So.
Oh yeah, it's something I was thinking as I was there. I was like, this is something I need to do more often. I mean, I go every, I like to go more often than I do go. Let's put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to like prove my skills. Yeah, It was.
Let me know range. I was thinking golf range.
I'm. This is this is gun.
Let me know the next time y'all go. And tag along.
I have a favorite firearm now. Though. I know what it is now.
What is it, brother?
Man, that AK, man.
What you got? You got is it a Stava? You got or is it Serbian or is it is it US? I know a little something.
Hey, quick question. That's personal. That's owned by you.
Yeah, this is Indiana. This.
I'll go up there.
Same, sir.
Man, what you got to do? Like carry a guitar case on your way out the house with that thing?
No, man, no. I mean, you carry in the case. Yeah, you carry in the case.
Okay. I'm just saying it's got to be huge. That thing about 3 feet long.
And
I don't know what model you get.
I was able to. I purchased some shotguns too that I had shot. I was able to shoot those as well. And one thing I found, because people, look at AR, A15. To me, I was an AK. I just like that better. And I was thinking about getting the 380, for personal carry, the smaller caliber. I don't like it at all. I'm glad I shot it.
Was he using steel or was you using brass? You was using brass.
Full metal jacket, yeah, brass.
And the steel is much lighter. I like shooting the steel because it just make a lot of noise. But do you have a optical for your AK?
Not for that, but for
okay.
But let's move on.
My bad.
Yeah, I do have some other rifles, yeah. Okay. I just got that.
Copy. I see.
Hey, the brother that said golf.
Yeah.
Look, he out there making $1 million car sales.
He went out of business
that's my wish. When my daddy was out little, he said,
rich man sport.
Business deals.
I hadn't played in over a year. Working.
Well, I need you to do me a favor since you're selling cars. I'm looking for a Lexus.
Uh-oh.
A brand new 2010 LS460.
Hold up, did you say brand new? In 2010?
It's new to me. What you?
Okay, I got you.
Man, I ain't got that new car money. I'm gonna put some new stickers on it, and I'm gonna be good.
New car smell.
Call them pre-owned.
Yeah, they coming to
pre-owned is a kind word. Pre-owned. I got you. 2010 LS460.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go all the way up to 2012.
I'll have to get with you off the Zoom or whatever.
All right.
Those are good cars. This is quality.
I can't buy them cars.
Man,
I would like to add to that. I think it seems like this generation that's coming up, it's all about clout, stardom. I think that's something that they all would fall in. Tell them they'll be rich. That's why those mega churches are so, they're preaching that prosperity.
Yeah.
I think man's just a rebel. We just, it's in the mind of men to rebel. Like even if you read about Armageddon, how they're gonna see the Lord, they're gonna try to fight him.
Right.
And then they say, let the rocks fall on us and hide us from the wrath of the Lamb. Instead of repenting, they don't want to repent. They're gonna blaspheme God and why these things are going on and when the Great Tribulation is going on. So I'm not, I just look at it, I'm like, even when you look at salvation and what it is, that concept of only a few, that was shown to you in the day brother mentioned, you alluded to Noah, you see the same thing with Sodom and Gomorrah. You see the same thing with the concept of a remnant. He comes to bring division, but to me, how I look at this, the work that the Lord did when he came and ultimately died on the cross. And even when you look at the gospel, the good news of salvation, that's a salvage. It's salvaging something out of a larger portion. The vast majority are gonna die.
Yeah.
Even when and that's the life cycle. Even when you look at, I know that's going a little further, but even when you look at the life cycle, starting from the very beginning, like when life leaves man and goes into the earth or the womb of a woman, it's a bunch of death.
Right.
Then you make it, then you born from the breach the matrix of the womb, and then you come into this earth, and then to go to that next stage of eternal life, for the most part, is death. Only a few make it. Only a few are going to make it, relatively speaking. And the scope and mold of Noah and Lot show you that. That's why he said it's gonna be like in those days when he returns. It's gonna be dead men from one end of this earth to the other. So if you look at the mentality of man and what mankind is doing, you can understand. It's only when it comes to salvation, it's only gonna be a few, relatively speaking. When you look at how many people are on the planet. Think about Noah, 8 souls were saved.
8 souls.
Everybody else drowned. And they saw the ark. He preached unto them too. The Bible tells you he was a preacher of righteousness. They still didn't want to hear it until it started raining. And didn't stop. And then said the Lord shut him in. So yeah, brother, it's and we could have these hopes, but I'm not talking about specifically you, brother Willie, but I'm saying we in general would have these hopes for our family and the people we love that they would take heed. That's what we want, but oftentimes that's not the case. Not saying that's not gonna happen with your brother. I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying that
in general.
In general, yes, in general. That's you look at it. I'm at the point now. People say, save yourself from this untoward generation.
They've been warned, brother.
Yeah, as far as when it comes to family, like if you want to, hey, if you want to hear it, I'll sit there and explain to you how long you will hear. But yeah, you got to, I also understand, that people are not trying to hear it. They don't want to hear Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Do you think they just don't believe the book is real? Because I can't seem to fathom that people would believe the book is real and strictly ignore it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think that they just think this is fables. This is a story told, or is it all the false teaching just created such a bad taste that people don't want to hear nothing about the book?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a number of things. Number one, people are biblically illiterate. They don't know what the book says. Most people don't have a clue. They've gone to church their whole life and don't have a clue what the book says. Number two, you do have people, they have not just false teachings and false doctrine, but you also have the hypocrisy that's found in a lot of these churches that people attend. That'll especially men, that'll turn you off. Okay, but at the root of it is if you acknowledge that the book is real and that God is real. See, because even when people say they believe in God, they'll believe in God and they'll say they believe in the Bible, they still don't know what it's saying and they're not doing what it's saying. Because when you know they don't really believe, because if they once you show it to them and they still don't want to do it, they never believed it in the first place. It was about what they say. because they want to serve God on their terms. Because if they serve God on their terms, it equates to them doing whatever in the world that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
they try to make.
What's that?
I'm gonna say they try to make God adjust to them instead of adjusting for Him.
Exactly, and that doesn't work on a job. That don't work with your parents when you're a child. That doesn't work in any situation when you were subordinate.
Right.
That doesn't work. I was just watching a movie the other day. It is this soldier. He was saying something. He said, "Such and such, captain." Like he had to let him know, I'm the. You better respect the rank. So people don't want to do that. It's rebellion, you know. So I think those are some things. I don't know if anybody else has something on that.
I was gonna say, I do think a lot of people think they believe in the Bible, but really don't. I was telling Elisha one day that I think people think of the Bible and the people in it as like Harry Potter characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right, they don't think about the stuff that, you know, Israel in particular, just like for this instance, had to go through as like, you know, real life people with real life emotions and real life trials and like trials like we go through our lives. We get sad, we get angry. They don't see that. And on top of that, you know, as much as it's been repackaged specifically here, it's, you know, it's gone from, you know, being false amongst other religions that are possibly false, possibly the truth. It's gone to being the white man's religion, and we were, you know, pagan Africans before this, or like some people like to think we were all Egyptians, descendants of the Egyptian empires. So I think it's a big tangled mess, but I'd like to think some people just haven't heard the truth yet, and all it takes is a little push. Some people are going to have to prove it to themselves, and then as messed up as it sounds, some people are just going to have to die at the end of the day, because there's no way for me, right? If somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to give you $1 million, I'm going to give you a big house, a big car, I'm going to let you run my business, and there's going to be no prerequisites. I don't need nothing from you. This is all just yours." I'm like, something's not right. Somebody's going to give me all this and not require anything of me. And I don't have, you know, from my point of view, I don't have any of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Qualities to meet the standard of, like, let's say a CEO. I think it's not, you know, I was there at one point in time, but it's crazy to think that God is going to give you all of this, things beyond your imagination. And he's just like, but yeah, you can do whatever you want while you're here. You don't have to read my word. You don't have to know what I want from you. You just do you. I'll adjust to you. And then when the kingdom comes, I'll do whatever you want.
That's the mindset. I mean, yeah, you think something not right, but that's the mindset. You got something, Brother Elvis?
I was gonna say, brother, I done heard my own father and other ministers preach this agape love, where God loves you regardless of anything. Mm-hmm. And I ain't seen that nowhere in the Bible. Everything was conditional from what I heard.
Conditional. So
I'm telling you, like the other day, we were talking about how these people support Israel, how that verse was hammered over and over and over. This so-called agape love has been preached over and over in the church to make people think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are, you know, it's a misinterpretation, you know, because love and every word is not the same in every language. You know, it could be like love. It'd be several types of love in Greek culture, in the Greek language. But Hebraically, when you look at, or even when you look at even in the New Testament, what they're saying, it don't tell you that he loved you in spite of, like, you can't do no wrong, it can't be lost. It doesn't say that. And like you said, it's conditional.
Everything was conditional.
It's conditional. It's conditional. It's conditional, you know. So,
I only brought that up because that was something else drove me crazy when I hear it. But anyway. All right, y'all want me to get the other question? I'm sorry.
If I could just throw one little thing in there. You know, yesterday, Brother Elijah, you said something towards the end. He said, you may say the name of Jesus, but you pagan in practice. You know, that's a trip.
Did I say that?
Because
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said, and man, and it's such a trip because
But I don't know if I said
man, well, somebody said it last night.
it could be. I could have said, I don't remember. Go ahead.
But everybody keeps Christmas, Thanksgiving, no matter the religion. So you can say, I'm a Muslim. Oh, you pagan. You keeping Christmas. You pagan. That's such a trip. The world is pagan. I don't know what's going to bring them back, but no matter what religion they keep universally, it don't matter what religion they say they are. They keeping Easter. They got them Easter eggs out there. They keeping Christmas. They keep the whole thing. They pagan. In practice, that's such a trip because actions speak louder than words. That's and I just wanted to throw that out there. That I was thinking about that this morning.
Yeah. Real quick, brother, appreciate Brother Makai. I guess there was some questions on the chat. Yeah, that's definitely any questions we can answer tomorrow in question and answer. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, yeah, it is about, that's what faith is. It's about your action, what you do based on what you believe. But people just, they do whatever, and it's comfortable. But then when you look at what the Bible is saying, and you say, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing, I don't believe that. What you carrying this book around for? So, but anyway, yeah. Anything else on
Peace,
that?
everyone.
Hey, brother.
Peace, bro.
Peace, brother. Peace. Sorry for being late.
You, brothers, you're not taking attendance. It's all good, brother. You
No, man, I just,
got stuff to do. You tired, working. I understand, brother. It's all good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because we talked about last night, I just wanted to maybe expand that conversation about this whole notion that the Bible is of no benefit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that foolishness today. And I just wanted to ask the question: in what ways have you found biblical principles? I mean, obviously salvation. As Lee said, but anything in your life that you lean on that the Bible has shown you, or has been beneficial because you've utilized biblical principles.
I'd like to say, go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry. Being a man,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first thing that caught my attention. Was I was acting less than what I was born, right? All this time, not knowing naturally what a man was, just being a male, and then coming into the knowledge of what a man was supposed to do, and actually seeing the pushback against you, like having to fight for your manhood, seeing the battle that took place in your home when you come into the knowledge of this truth and understanding your position as the head and trying and going forward and snatching back your power. It opened the door for everything. I think that's where it was for me, was the start of this walk with Christ. Was first off knowing who you were. And you're not going to be able to walk this walk unless you're true to yourself. First and foremost, can't be serving anything or anyone if you're not true to you. So if you walk in this walk hypocritically and not even in the image that you're born, that's why I understand how homosexuality and transgenderism don't rock with God, because that's not who you are. That's not who you are. You're out of character. So the moment you play your character and you walk it, for me, that was one of the biggest things. Knowing who I was, even beyond Israel, it was beyond that. It was just what a man was. And coming into that knowledge ultimately gave me the strength to be able to face everything that was coming towards me. Hey, I got God on my side. I'm a man. You don't like it, kick rocks. So that ultimately was the best thing. One of the biggest things I take from the Bible itself.
Let us make man. Yeah, and everybody else trying to make you into something else. They're trying to make you into punk, trying to make it to a simp, trying to make it to a woman, trying to make it to a girl, trying to make it to a boy. But he made you a man, and ultimately that had the potential to be God.
Right.
Absolutely. Brother Khalil, you had something?
Yeah, I was gonna say two things for me. The simplest being like keeping the Sabbath. Like for me, before I started keeping the Sabbath, I was always on the go. I was probably from about 7 a.m. to about 8 p.m. I was always on the go, and that was Monday through Sunday through all the way to Saturday. I didn't take any breaks, no rest, no nothing. Really, the only time I rested when I was sleeping, I was either working out, doing something in the house. I was just always busy, and it kind of started to seem like there was no time where I wasn't working. In some way of the sense, I'm not working on something, and none of it was really like beneficial. Now that I really look back at it, because like other things that I was doing were hindering what I was trying to build myself up in. It was kind of productive. But keeping the Sabbath has allowed me to, decompress, commune with God, and really like take the time to appreciate everything around me, right? Like I open up the windows, I open up my Bible, and I just chill. I just chill out. And a lot of people don't do that today in general. They don't take the time to just chill out. And the other thing it taught me was accountability. I'm accountable for my body. I'm accountable for my family. I'm accountable for the things that my family intakes. And I'm accountable for what I intake and what I choose not to intake. Because before the word, I didn't really read that much in general. And once I started reading the word, I started getting books. And now if somebody says something, I make sure that I go and I read it for myself. From then on out, I never just took somebody's word as fact. And I started verifying for myself and making sure, hey, this person is really speaking some truth, or regardless of what the subject is. It could be, health and nutrition. It could be, medicine, whatever have you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing. We don't even have sense enough to sit down. Sit down and rest. Shabbat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, brother. Austin, you had your hand on, brother.
Yes, sir. I was just gonna say that the Bible gives you a culture, gives you a way to it brings structure to your life, it gives you responsibility, it gives you the insight to not make um, simple mistakes, and that's definitely what it's done for me. And then it constantly shows you ways in which you can improve as a person. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely ways to improve. And definitely culture, because that's something we don't have. We're lacking that, particularly as a people, because of the diaspora. So yeah, absolutely, brother Isaiah, what you got, brother?
Brother, coming in this word and actually knowing now, even trying, right, and doing the commandments and keeping the faith of Jesus Christ, knowing these things, brother, it put this renewal in me, right, because I still have a chance to have hope, right, that this new life brings something, a place of rest from this life now. Because to be honest, this life now, it's 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 eroding, it's destructive, it's against God. And knowing that, you have this tiny hope, right, which is a big thing in the future, that at least I'm trying hard to do it right. It's a journey. Every week, every Sabbath, we're perfecting it, this journey. And this is how I feel about coming into the world. Before in the past, you were just living for the glory, the dollar and the flesh and the good life and the alcohol. But now that I know what God requires of me and what is required of me to get salvation, right? It's it's I am ecstatic, right? And it's relieving that there's hope, for me, for us, for the brothers here. And this is why I have to hold on to this word of God. And some time ago you said something profound, that he said outside this Bible is paganism, right? And that stuck for weeks, just ricocheting in my head. And you know how could we not know that before? But now, now, teacher, this is hope. There's a bright future for us. There's something great and something big, and I will continue in this word, in doing it, even telling people about it, and stand firm, worshiping the true and living God. And that's all. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
Brother Elbert.
Yes, sir. The word has done for me. It has showed me. It has humbled me, because I used to be one of them brothers beat on their chest, talk about look what I did. And since I've been in this word, I was thinking about the one king who looked at his kingdom and said, "Look what I have done," not realizing that the Lord was in control all the time. And I know that all my blessings have come from the Lord. My health comes from the Lord. Having healthy children comes from the Lord. And that's why I said, so now when I get in the morning, I thank him in my prayers for not killing me in my sin and letting me come to that realization, because he said he hates a proud man. I'm not saying it exactly how it's written, but he has put me in my place, knowing that I am nothing special other than what he has given me. And I try to hold on to that, because man, I used to think it was about me, at one time. So that's what I've got mostly since I've been in this word, other than keeping his commandments and his statutes. But it has put me in my place.
Brother Deontay, go ahead. Good. Thank you, Brother Elbert. Brother Deontay, go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking of being, what the word has done for me is revealed, is just shine a light on things that I never would have realized. Just the importance of a parent coming home every day is a really big deal. A man that, just I can't really put it into words from front to back. Man, top to bottom, things have been revealed to me that I was going on in ignorance. It's I'm really lost for words. I shouldn't even raise my hand. I mean, it's just I can't even put it into words. Just every time I turn around, the word is being proven true to me. Right now, I know for a fact it's being a shield and a buckler, because it's some those who might want to get close to me to do some harm to me, but and smiling while they trying to get close. But if they ain't digging in scripture and we ain't got business on the table, there's no need for you to come. So this word is actively right now being a shield and a buckler, because it's keeping me tight from going out doing things that I might do if I wasn't trying to keep the word. So it's buckling me in and shielding those away from me. So I'll just keep it right there.
It's putting limits to what you do. Yeah, this is because I agree with all your brothers, what y'all saying. Just like even we don't have, just like I was saying, we don't have sense enough to even rest, to sit down, have no sense enough to, that's why people get exhausted and just fall out, passed out. You don't have sense enough to sit your butt down. We don't have sense enough to put limits on ourselves. And that's what Torah does. It puts limits on our human endeavors. It puts limits on our interactions, what we can and cannot do. And if you've done some of those things that he said don't do, you realize the consequences for doing them, or the consequences for not doing it, depending on what the law is. So it is the law. It is a barrier. It's like a fence. It's like you walking, and it's like this is the fence. You walking within. You go outside this fence, you might go over a cliff. You go on the other side of that fence. It's a wolf out there. So it is protection. It's wisdom. I mean, in so many ways. Even when you're looking even financially, just the fiscal principles, the economic principles in the Bible. You know, the borrower is slave to the lender. You know, like a 10, giving a 10, saving a fifth. You know, just it's so much in that. And like when the brother said culture, I was mentioning this last night. I said other people who claim to be the people have put a lot of these principles into their own culture and adopted them, and they thrive because of it. They thrive because of a lot of those principles that they have implemented. And he gave it to us, and we totally ignore it and take somebody else's principles, whether it be food, whatever it is, marital behavior or culture that any various types of culture that we use, and it doesn't work for us. So, but most of all, it's showing us salvation. Ultimately, it's showing us salvation, but it's showing us how to live. It's a guide to living. So to say that it is of no benefit, that's just somebody that's just ignorant. They don't even know what is in it. Even when the woman was talking about slavery, well, that's in the book. Your enslavement is in the book. It's showing you how you got there, and it's showing you not only that, it's showing you how to get out of slavery. If my people call by my name, would humble themselves and pray and turn to seek my face, then I hear from heaven, forgive their sins and heal the land. So not only is it showed you how you got into slavery by way of slave ships in Deuteronomy 28, and it's showing you how to get out of slavery as a people. And then, so there's definitely benefits. Brother Khalil, is your hand up for something, or is that from earlier?
Yeah, it's one other thing I wanted to mention. I've been meaning to bring it up for a while. It just kept slipping my mind. But once I got into the word, I don't know if anybody else has experienced, I'm sure y'all have, but like a level of peace.
Mm-hmm.
When I started getting into the word, like at first, like I went through, I was angry because I had been deceived for a while, and I was sad because all this stuff had happened. But then once I started reading more and more, and I started getting a grip on everything, it was just a level of peace that just swept over me. And most people, they're worried about a lot of things in the world specifically, and because of the book, we can see where things have been and where they're going to end up. And on top of that, we have this God and a way to live our lives. And as long as we stick to it, ultimately we'll be fine. And it just brought a level of peace to me that I think very few people have experienced or will understand.
Yeah, because I agree with you. We don't understand that a lot of the chaos and the turmoil that we have in our lives, we caused it by the decisions that we made. And we make those decisions because we were ignorant and we didn't have wisdom. Well, the book is wisdom. It's showing you even how to speak.
Right.
It's showing you how to speak. It's showing you how to deal in relationships with people. It's showing you so much. it's showing you so much. So yeah, we cause all the chaos and all the problems in our lives because we are in the darkness, and so then we suffer. But I've definitely, I mean, you have problems. That's just part of the human condition. Things come up, but the problems that I have now, are not the problems that I had when I was acting a fool.
Right.
You know, it's you know, it's not that kind of problem. You see what I'm saying? It's something. And then the word you look at, you know, through the biblical lens, oftentimes it's showing you how to deal with the problem. You know, but it's not because, you know, we are biggest, you know, we are biggest enemies sometimes. It's stuff, things that we do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, he's like a parent, really giving us rules, laying down rules on what we should do. But we like, I don't want to listen to that. Just like the wayward child, what happens to the wayward child? Go out to the world, and the world, you find out how cold it is and how hard that sidewalk is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you find out real quick, or you end up in jail or the grave.
Right.
You know. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's a benefit. It's definitely, that was a good. All the brothers, what y'all said was good. What you said about it being peace. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. What else was on deck? Hold on.
Vaccines without parental.
Okay, thank you. Did y'all? That is no segue. Just to change the subject. Did y'all see that in certain places you can get, the kids can have the vaccine without their parents, or the jab, I should say, without the parents' permission?
I didn't see that one.
I didn't see it. I thought I heard of it though.
You said you were on deck.
Vaccines without parental.
My fault, brother. That was YouTube. Go ahead. Let me see. Yeah, I find it to be kind of. But I guess there's so many other things that they can do now without
True.
Yeah, they could get the sex change too without it, right?
Yeah. So what's the jab?
Right.
Wait, he say sex change.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can. I don't think the healthcare, which is ironic, but just no, it's not even right. It's just asinine because you're the one paying insurance, right?
They can get a sex change.
I believe so. I believe they can get certain things. I don't know as far as that, but
Wow.
but I know there's certain things they can do because and without parental.
That's that Equality Act, isn't it?
Is that the Equality Act, brother?
I believe so.
I don't
I
know.
don't want to say for certain, but
I
I believe.
Say again.
I don't want to say for sure that it is, but I do believe it is. The equality. So
Right.
ain't nuts, man.
This is from Washington Post. Hopefully it shows up. Let me see. Here. It says lawsuits challenge DC law allowing kids to get vaccines without parental permission. This actually came out today. 2 lawsuits filed in DC federal court this month challenged the city law passed last year that allows minors to be vaccinated without their parents' knowledge, saying the legislation violates religious liberty. Litigation comes as health officials across the country debate how much information minors should be given about vaccines, with at least one state seeking to limit teenagers' access to shots that would protect them from COVID and other illnesses. In October, the district passed the Minor Consent to Jab Amendments Act, which allows children as young as 11 to get the jab without their parents' knowledge if a doctor determines they are capable of informed consent. Now, I was talking about this earlier and maybe yesterday, the day before. And you remember those y'all brothers, some of y'all brothers, maybe not Austin. Remember those CDs that you would get like maybe like 12 for $1 or 99 cents? Remember that?
Mhm.
You had to get the magazine. If you were like, you had people that were getting that, they would sign up for that, but they were minors. So that deal, they would get it and not pay. That deal was like null and void because you were a minor. You're not supposed to be going into that contract. Right? You didn't have to pay. Who's gonna pay? You're a minor. But now you could be as young as 11 years old and get this without your parents' permission. So whose kids are these? Are you belong to this parent or you belong to the state? It sounds like you belong to the state.
Yes, thank you. You cleared that up. That is an issue.
Yeah.
Parent, you're supposed to be able to raise your child how you see fit.
Right.
And yeah, that's not cool. I definitely see a problem with that. But you see what's coming, separating. That's why the children are rebellious.
They giving them too much liberty. And if you might as well send him out to go work now at 10 too. Let him get a job. He can go change everything. Get out. Soon as you get out of diapers, just go support yourself now.
Yeah, that's great.
It's funny how you went on that, because that was some other madness that I came across today about the famous twins, where the dad was trying to stop him from twerking or intervening somehow.
And they shot him,
and one of the boyfriends killed the dad.
Wait. I'm sorry, brother.
You might have mentioned that.
I missed
weeks ago.
What?
Well, that was where some young man shot the dad because they got in a disagreement over, I guess, what the daughters were doing. And then today I know this was a depressing day. Then today I see where this brother was climbing through this 14-year-old's window, and the father, was talking to the young man, and for somehow they got into an argument downstairs, because they went downstairs to talk. Now that dad is dead. I know. Ain't that it?
Is that all in Columbus, bro?
No. All this wasn't.
Hey, wild in Columbus. Okay.
But my point is, when you was talking about the rebellion earlier tonight, and right here with these children, you're just talking about, they keep giving these children, telling them, they keep extending these rights to them, where they become so rebellious that they are bringing death into their own household. And I mentioned this scripture to my sister one time, and it pissed her off. When you got that rebellious son that don't want to do nothing, you take him before the elders, and he still listen. They take him to the edge of the camp and stone him to death. Yeah. So you bringing that madness is coming into your homes now, and it's getting the fathers killed. And my son is telling me about these women whose children who are teenagers going off on them, and they calling the police on their own children, and then the child is running the house. So this is more of that madness that I see that's empowering these children who don't know when to get out the rain to run the households. Okay, all right. You see why my day is shot now. Okay.
Fellas, do y'all see this as do you see this as lining up with the scriptures?
Absolutely.
Like, man, this is imminent. You see how they just made the whole world sit down from coronavirus? They made the whole world sit down. And then we know that it was made in the lab. We know that. Now, if they let these children have control like this, if the child, everybody, we just had the lesson, everybody needs a teacher. And so if most adults don't know, the children definitely won't know. The deception is on. The run is getting ready to get real. That was a test run. This coronavirus they made in the lab, they suppressed it, and even though the truth is out there, what's being believed? Something different. Oh man, the deception is on the way. Oh man, deceiving the whole world. Say what?
I just see rebellion, brother. Rebellion against God. rebellion against the order of how he set it up. So we can't be far. We can't be far. And that's the sad reality of, you know, you want everything to go good. But when you are awake and reading the scriptures, man, I don't see it. That's what I'm saying. I'll probably be over this in a couple of days. But as of today, it was too much. I have, right, you said it before, don't have faith in man, have faith in God. You're absolutely right. This madness is crazy. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, it's a problem when you can't determine what your own children can and cannot do. And somebody else can tell you, the state can tell your child, you know, even when you have two parents in a household, it's like they better be on one accord, because those children, depending on the child, it would take, you know, they'll play you off one another.
Right.
You know. So it's a mistake that parents make when they say, oh, your father said do this, don't worry about it. Go ahead and do this. Or vice versa. If your mama told you something, it depends, you know, if it's a something. You know what I'm saying? Like oh, your mother told you that? Well, you know, because you want to be on one accord. You know what I'm saying? But then they can go to somebody else, and that usurps your authority in your own house. Yeah, man, it's troubling to say the least. Absolutely.
Well, that's my problem.
You say again, brother?
No, I was saying that's my problem with this here. You can do it without the parents' permission.
Yeah.
It's further taking the legs out from under the parents. Because, you know, I was downtown one time. I know this is on the same subject. I watched his grandmother sign her grandson over to the state. It was unbelievable. She couldn't do nothing with him no more. And my mouth hung open. It was like, she said, you do know, the man said, you do know after you sign this, he's a ward of the state. And she signed it. Now, I'm not blaming the grandmother. I just.
What was the child's mother and father?
Well, the dad was probably trying to kick another girl in the head while his daughter was trying to stab somebody. All right, I know that's all.
He went there.
I brought up that old incident.
Yeah, he went there.
They
Wow.
loved her so much, none of them had him. They loved the girl so much, it wasn't in the aunt's house, wasn't in the uncle's house, wasn't in the dad or the mama's house. So, all right, I'm sorry. Here we go. See, it went on that tangent again, didn't I? All right, but that's the madness that I'm seeing every day, brother. And I'm an old man now. And all right, okay.
Yeah, there are incremental steps, often dangerous steps, consequential steps that lead to ultimate crisis. So it wasn't like she just ended up in that situation, the unfortunate case of that young woman being shot by the police officer in that altercation that she was in. There were a bunch of steps in her life. Oh, I'm not saying necessarily they were all her fault, but somebody was making some missteps. Somebody's making missteps to the point where your child is, and you alive, and you have family, mother and father alive, to where your child is in Texas, you know, in foster care or something like that. Before he said, you understand, he's a ward of the state, there was some steps taken in that young person's life, again, that initially may not have been a young man's fault. That to the point where he ended up to where Big Mama said, I can't do nothing with you.
Right.
He didn't come out the womb and you couldn't do nothing with him.
Right.
But some things, some failures. When I say steps, there's been some failures in these young people's lives that lead them to the point where you about to stab somebody with a knife, or he got to say grandmother got a war. Grandma ain't got that energy to be running after you, big, feeding you out of jail.
But the previous cases I was talking to you about, where these daughters are so rebellious, they're getting their dads killed. That these young teenagers and young adults are killing the men in the house. So these young rebellious women are bringing that madness into their own home and getting their dads killed. So, you know, and on, you know, and on and on, and on and on.
Lose-lose situation.
I'm
What you
sorry,
say,
brother.
brother?
It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. The answer to that, you know, because I know I was, but it's almost too late because you tell them the answer. There's a million excuses why they don't have to do it. And when you show them the order in the Bible, the Father, the Son, man, woman, child, they're rebelling. So like, when you say rebellion now, I'm getting it. The devil rebelled, and he's teaching everybody else to rebel against the divine order that Christ put, or that the Father put in place. That's the conclusion I came to today when I'm watching all this madness. I know, I'm sorry, brother. I don't want to make it seem like I'm preaching.
Go ahead. You don't have to apologize, brother.
This madness has come. That's the realization that I came to today. Okay.
I had to deal with that last week. Coming to the realization that it's people just rebel, and it's really nothing you can do, especially when it's another grown up. You know, it's nothing. You know, I listen. You know, of course, I've been listening for a while, but on Fridays, you know, now we got another young brother that's been there the last couple of weeks. Anyway, I know I missed a week because I went on vacation, but he's been asking questions to try to see how he can overcome some things, arguments and stuff with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just got into that. It was the same way when I first got in and started learning. But I just got into that point where I don't even try to teach them anything. I hear same people say the same thing. God this or God that. And I'm thinking, well, you know, you're not serving that God, so listen to me. He's not listening to your prayers, you know, about these things that you have. You know, you're not even serving that God. So I just got. Well, I don't even try to. I just stop even trying to correct him.
Yeah, I mean, there is a point of like, okay, judgment is coming. You know what I mean? And you see that with the nation. That could also be in a person's life. But yeah, you can't. And then the Bible tell you know, when people are dealing with heresy, or people are, you know, they're not really asking to know that they're trying to, you know, ask you things to mock and scoff. You don't necessarily have to engage that person. Sometimes people just talk, and then so, like you said, you can't force anybody to hear. I talk to people, and they'll start telling me, what you think about this, and you'll tell them why they're wrong. It'll be something in their household. You'll be like, well, this is where you went wrong with this, brother. Y'all allowing him to do this, because what we talking about? Because I know people, they parent, they child, they scared of their child. You know, I see situations where you got a woman, she has a child, and married, so she has a child, and she, not a child, he ain't used to having no father. So now you don't want that man to discipline the child, but now he done got to an age where you're scared of him. So now he doing things, police being called, all this. It's like, well, brother, why you ain't do this? Oh, brother, you can't do that. Well, you just asked what you should do.
Right.
Yeah, all right. And then now it's to the point, you tell them a couple of times, they don't want to hear it. Yeah, can't tell you you won't believe what he did. Now I'm just listening, because you don't want the advice. You don't want to do what you need to do. But it is what it is. Yeah, you can't force, especially if they're grown, but you can't, one thing about it, man, you can't be a kid in my house, eating my food, soaking up heat and air and space, talking about what you ain't gonna do.
Amen. Amen.
You can't, like you was talking about earlier, love is conditional. You'll learn real fast how hard this world is, or making them grown up decisions.
Yeah.
I got somebody pregnant. What you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
That's not like a personal problem. That's not my problem. What about the day? Hey, you're gonna have a rough life. Because you about to take care. I'm not about to, you ain't about to get, and then you see these people, they get a child over, their child, have a child, they get a child to their grandparents and they raise them. Not the kid. Won't be the case. You went out there and acted, you better get it together. What you gonna do? Well, we're gonna stay here. Who told you that? Who told? I told you what you're supposed to do. You went and did something else. Now you got to figure that out. You got to figure that out. Nah, you better. I ain't about to. Nah, I ain't doing it. Cause I done told you too many times. I done raised you a certain way, and you want to go and rebel and figure it out.
Child support ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. That's
not at all. Biggest hustle going on. One of the biggest hustles going on.
Oh, by the way, that was your segue.
It was.
You said Dr. Dre paying $300,000 a month.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 300,000. Well, 200, brother. Don't say 300,000. It's actually 293,000.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
That's nothing.
I guess she was asking for $2 million a month.
For what?
He had a prenuptial agreement.
And still getting that.
Was that in the prenup?
I don't know the whole terms of the prenuptial. I know he had a prenuptial. She tried to say that she tried to say all kind of things. And I don't know that, and I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. But I do, to me, I don't even focus on that. I do want to focus on the fact that how the system is set up to where how in the world it's set up to where you with somebody, the woman filed for divorce, from my understanding. She filed for divorce. And again, can't say what he was doing, what or was not doing. That's not my thing. But how is it that you have to pay grown kids, you have to pay $300,000 a month for the rest of her life, and until she marries somebody?
Wait, there's no children?
Kids were grown.
I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear you.
That's why I was asking for what, because I thought his kids were grown.
No, this is not for the kids.
This is alimony.
This is spousal support. She was asking for $2 million. Wow. And then like $6 million in legal fees or something like that. And she filed. These brothers, and these are like brothers outside of our stratosphere. These brothers were there's so many of these brothers, man, taking L's. It's unreal. So 300,000 a month on the first. You better not be late.
I think, yeah.
On the first in August.
What if he had contested the divorce? Say, I don't want the divorce.
I mean, would he not be delaying the inevitable?
But what would it change? Does it change the dynamics of of everything in the court system? He said, I don't want a divorce.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because if I was him with that kind of money, I'd find out from the attorney. I would have found that out. If that was the way I did my strategy, I would have took that strategy. I don't want to.
I went back home. I said, I love you.
Come back to the house.
But I don't know, brother. I don't know. Because I think you can force a divorce.
I can't even fathom.
I just wonder how the dynamics could change,
Yeah.
I mean, she still need to get X, Y, Z and alimony for me. She wants out, Lord.
Yes.
What did he get for his 300,000?
Hey, I mean,
brother, she wanted $2 million from what I read, and his name.
Do he at least get to go take a shower over there?
some Vaseline. How about that?
$300,000 a month. Good grief.
No.
And you
go ahead, brother.
You see how the system set it up too. So it's like you create a perpetual fornicator. She cannot.
She's not getting married. She's not getting married.
She gonna be sleeping with everybody.
She's never getting married.
As long as we don't get married, you can have this.
Now they try to say, I think they said it's a marriage or like a domestic situation.
You can't even come over.
Two houses that she has now from him, I believe it's 2. She'll never get married. The system is both. That's
The
exactly what I'm saying.
system,
It's
that is
bogus.
perpetual fornication,
bogus.
bro. That's
Let's
crazy.
go further than Shaq's ex-wife.
What's that?
Oh,
Shaq's ex-wife gets so much money. She feeding other dudes she go out on dates with. Cause she getting that money into forever, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna get that money forever. You're not gonna find a guy that caliber as far as financially. But my thing is, that's just not right.
Unless she meet Jeff Bezos.
Huh?
Unless she meets Mr. Penis Rocket Maker. Sorry, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I said unless she meets Jeff Bezos, who can afford more money than the 300,000.
No, you're definitely not gonna do that.
Exactly. So she's stuck in fornication mode forever.
Well, I can't sit here and say what this woman is going to do. However, it puts her in that position it incentivizes you filing for divorce. It incentivizes you living in a particular way to keep that money coming.
You're not gonna go get married to some man and
he
lose all of that.
Post office. I get 300,000. How much you make? I make about 50,000 a year. I get 300,000 a month.
That's gonna be a hard life for her. I'm serious. Trying to find love now.
Got her
ain't
love,
gonna be. Yeah, just that 300,000.
300
for
grand
love.
a month.
That's her love.
She don't care about no love, man.
No,
it's over.
That's what she loved.
Yeah.
Is this his first wife?
I don't think so. Was he not married to that art? I don't know if he was married to that one artist that used to be on death row or not. Again, I don't.
Oh, Michelle A.
You're right. Was he married to her? Or did they have children or something? I'm not sure. I can't say. And again, I don't know the ins and outs of these people's relationship. So that wasn't my thing in bringing it up. My thing was how the system behaves, or rather how the system operates to where you would have to pay 300, and that was a deal. You signed a prenup, still have to pay $300,000.
Imagine what he making that he even said, stop right there. That's enough.
Say again for me.
So imagine how much money Dre is actually bringing in where he even said, all right, let's stop right there. I can't do no more, no less. Like that's it.
I don't know.
He has to be. That's a lot of money you got to be bringing in.
He's worth 800 million. Which I heard.
Money making money.
But then again, how much of that is liquid? You got the tax man getting his cut on things, you never know. But
when they do those type of numbers saying net worth, it's not what they actually have. It's
right, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. That's why I'm
net
saying
worth.
you can have a net worth, but then it's like I said, how much money do you have is liquid? You can go and take. You
right.
see or
I got you.
And how much are you paying in taxes every year?
But you know about the multiples they use, right? They use multiples to increase that, so I can't explain it right now, but every business, if you're going to look at selling it, they multiply, they take whatever your earnings or whatever number that is, they multiply it by some other number. And it's based on what type of business it is, what multiple they use.
You're talking about for tax purposes?
No, in order to talk about your worth.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So if you have some contract where say they're going to give you, 5 million or something like that, they could take that deal and say, okay, based on this type of deal, this type of business or whatever, multiply that times 5, and and then they could use that and say that's your net worth.
So it's not reality, basically.
Right. A lot of stuff goes, a lot of other math.
Wow. Yeah. I don't understand. You could be dealing with another man, and another man is paying.
I have real issue with that. I would have a real issue.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, what does that do to your psyche? Your psyche. Your psyche. What does that do to your mindset? I'd be.
Well, somebody his level of rich, it may not affect him that much. You know, he got 75% off. So somebody him that rich. But I had wanted to say, you know, another thing how we took on these ways, that man can have 4 or 5 women in the same house. If he would, you know, if he was living a certain way, there's no reason why this man couldn't have 5 women in the house instead of, because this whole thing was supposed to be about him cheating. That man has enough money and resources where he could have all the women in the house. We allowed to have more than one wife, but we, you know, we living like over here though.
Well, like I said, I don't know what's going on with that situation. You saying that's why it took place? I think that we definitely adopted other people's culture. But I wouldn't suggest that anybody do that. Not saying, you know what I mean? As far as it, being at that status in that house, I don't know. I understand what you're saying, but it might be better if you had your own house. And
each woman have their own house, you saying?
Oh yeah. All right,
brother. And again, man, that's people do, you know what I'm saying, what your situation is, but I would is that statue, because that, yeah, you don't necessarily, I don't know. I ain't got them kind of problems. But brother, I see what you're saying, though, brother Deontay. Brother Austin, you got something, brother?
Yeah, I got just a quick question. So if you if there's no marriage license involved in a marriage, can you still get got, like somehow?
It depends on where you're at. It depends, and again, this is, you know, sometimes you have common law that comes into play depending on the state. It depends on the domestic living arrangements. It depends on a lot of things. But yeah, that's
yeah, I know the key is to find a suitable mate, and you won't have to deal with none of that. But it's just something that had crossed my mind, just looking at, you know, stuff going on.
Now this, even what we're talking about right now, this is not the most egregious thing I heard concerning divorce. Give me 1 second. This is give me 1 second to find this.
I think I know you're talking about.
What I'm talking about?
Miss Rocket shit. You know who I'm talking about, Jeff's wife. Jeff is ex-wife, no? Because she just made off with buku money, right?
Yeah, she got billions. Nah, this guy, he played for the Cubs.
Chicago Cubs.
His estranged wife had an affair with their pastor, wants additional $4 million in divorce. Now, when I read this, now this is what she said. Now he, from my understanding, he would just wanted 50%. He said, "Hey, let it be 50-50." Okay. He said court documents obtained by the Chicago Tribune reveal several new bombshells since his wife, I guess, copped to having a year-long affair with the former couple's Nashville pastor and marriage counselor. So they were going to the pastor for marriage counseling, and that marriage counselor was just having an affair with his wife. Now, she had been filed for divorce in 2019 after 14 years of marriage. She had 3 children. Listen to this. After she had admitted to this affair, she is now accusing the MLB player of basically giving up and causing a massive loss in income when he intentionally and voluntarily took a leave of absence in May of 2019 to allegedly tend to family issues pertaining to the fallout from the divorce. That was the final year of his playing career. So she's suing him. She basically, she basically wants the money that he would have made if he had played. And the reason he didn't play was because of their marriage being in shambles, at least in part because of this year-long affair. In addition, I believe he had a type of foundation where this pastor was on the board, and I guess he got a salary from him as well.
Cold-hearted.
Yeah, that's some savagery.
That's savagery.
Brother. She want additional $4 million because that's the money you would have made.
But he can't even throw a ball because his mind all messed up. And
go ahead, brother.
Nah, I'm just saying, and you all you can think about is that extra money. And you didn't cause this man, he obviously got some mental issues now. He had to take off just so he could breathe after this sad, savagery. Oh,
he played for a number of years. So think about just the physical toil that professional sports has on your body. Especially baseball, they have more baseball games. They have more games than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So he played all those games for all those years. And when you want to retire, she want money because you could have made this money. I want the money that you could have made. Brother, is there a word? Is there a word that speaks to this that's more than cold or savage? Like, I want the money you could have made, but you quit.
Was that the part of her plan the whole time?
Brother, I can't say I don't know.
There's a code. They have that in the divorce and even in child support. They say earning potential.
Mm-hmm.
Because people quit jobs and stuff.
It's a premeditated divorce.
Right, to try to lessen their incomes and stuff like that. So she's
crazy.
The lawyer gave her that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The lawyers turned people cold as ice, and they appealed to their greed. But once again, something you said for a long time, I keep seeing. I done seen it twice today in this lesson, causing rebellion. The government empowering the children to rebel against the parental authority, and now the government is empowering the woman to rebel against the structure that God put in place. So that's where I'm at now, brother. We're all in full rebellion. Okay, I've been harping on that, but that's why all right.
It says, like you said, that I did premeditation. It says, in addition to seeking habit of form couple marital assets, she's asking that the husband paid her $4 million for the amount of money he failed to preserve by abruptly and intentionally failing to satisfy his baseball contract. Like, okay, so at what point does the humanity come in? Like, okay, this is the father of my 3 kids. You did have a year-long affair with your marriage counselor.
Right.
Counselor pastor. So there's a couple things going on. Like you said, the rebellion, because there's no biblical precedent for a woman, at least in Torah, filing for divorce. Then you had the issue of adultery. Then you had addition of the betrayal by the one who's supposed to be in a position, which is that pastor. And then you have the state that more than likely, or the courts, which is more than likely, family court is going to support what she's talking about. So all of that, in addition to the stresses of the world, that's why I say, what does that do to a man psychologically? What is that doing to you? You got this money, but that money, man, doesn't mean that you're gonna have a good turnout with your wife. Because you are nothing but a commodity.
This is where you find situations where people end up dead. It's sad, like somebody get hurt behind this. You know what I'm saying? A man who's already on the brink and could possibly get away with something like that because of all the mental damage that she put him through. That's mental damage.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
mental. He could get away with. I ain't promoting none of this, but if he was, tried to knock this woman off,
I seen him.
They'll say that man had he wasn't in his right mind.
He snapped.
He snapped.
I seen him.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I seen a man. He had a heart attack because I think that he found out
I saw that.
He found out that he wasn't the father of his kids or something.
Yeah.
And he just died.
I saw that.
Sad.
That's unfortunate.
I'm looking at this now. It says, quote, "It is Mrs. Zobrist by having an extramarital affair and confessing saying to her husband and not disclosing the true extent of her affair that caused him such extreme mental distress and difficulty that resulted in an inability to finish his long and very successful career in the way that he had hoped for and planned for it yet." Now, how much of that is true, I don't know. But it says something. In the latest filing, being also alleged that she spent $30,000 in a retirement party for, I guess, this pastor, which she hosted at their Nashville home in December of 2018, then claimed she was intoxicated and danced lewdly with the pastor in front of everyone in attendance. Oh, you additionally accusing excessive and wasteful spending throughout their marriage, which she averaged $24,000, spent $24,000 a month.
Now that's his fault. He should have locked that money up right then. When they was married, he should have locked that money up.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like this is bringing up, man. The system, bro, is just.
Yeah. We'd have been divorced a long time ago then. If she was running through my money back then. If we was happy and she blowing 24 a month.
There's got to be like some kind of laws. I feel like a woman who is being able to spend $24,000 a month, if you try to stop that she could go and do something in court to make that, open that back up, like you're torturing them. I know.
No, that had been shut down in the beginning.
Man,
she just said it said she was claiming he was controlling.
Yeah, I'm controlling. That's why we want a divorce.
But what Brother Willie is saying, like she's saying that for a reason. Probably like you said earlier, that's from the lawyers. So
okay.
It's just So I can see what you're saying, brother Willie. Like it's a lose.
Yeah.
We'd have stopped that $24,000 a month though. She'd have been there for me then.
You know how you spending $240 a month? 240 miles a month. Where's Texas $240 a month going? Where is going?
I went to the grocery store and found out. I was like, dang, we eat that much food. It costs that much for trees.
It's $240 extra every month. What's going on? Now 24 grand. Now 300,000 a month. Now you do that. And it's just like, you building this, you're doing this. How do you owe this other person all this? It's something's missing. Something's missing. Something doesn't make sense.
That cost of living, does that play a part? Like, if you get to a point where you're making so much money, and then a woman knows, hey, if I just start spending $5,000, $10,000 a month, and do this at least for a year, if I leave, I have to say he at least has to pay me this amount of money because this is what we naturally normally do. And I can't live no less than $10,000 a month. Yeah, that would affect the cost of living, wouldn't it?
I saw a lawyer. He was saying that a woman can say that it's inhumane for her to have to live a lesser lifestyle than what she previously did when she was with her. So they can play that and get whatever money they want to.
So rule of thumb, don't let your money go out your pocket. They got plans.
Know what though? those plans were in place before you probably even knew who she was.
Facts.
Yeah.
That was a plan in place before you even knew who she was. The you bumping into her was probably a plan. Not saying this case, I'm just saying in general, man. You don't like, man, that's crazy. Something's wrong. Something wrong with men getting a short end of the stick. That don't make any sense.
Oh.
Not me saying men are perfect, but clearly these family courts are
Ridiculous.
yes, brother. This
Them
doesn't
ain't,
make any
them
sense.
women courts. Them ain't family courts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
We just not a part. Men not part of the family.
Oh,
Well, you know, they get one judge in there. You get one judge, set a precedent, and then it's on from there. You can have me in power. You got me as your judge, and I start passing these different things. You know, the money get to flowing. It's just, it seems so crazy now, but they set it up a long time ago, man. You know, I don't know. I watch a lot of the shows like the Law and Orders and this and that. That seemed like, to me, that's reality TV. That's reality TV. The things going on behind the scenes, the Chicago PDs and all that. That's I think all that's real.
Yeah, brother. It's
Great.
crazy.
Mm.
You'll be like me right now. You know how I'm at right now? I'm like, man, where my socks at? Or my shoes and socks. I don't remember taking off my shoes. That's how you be barefoot. You be barefoot. I'm literally right here like, man, why am I sitting with what my shoes and socks? That's how you'll be out here in these courts, man. Where your shoes at? You be back home living with your mama. Back home living, you know, trying to repair your life because the system is unfair.
I know a lot of brothers though. The ones I know that got divorced, man, it hurt in the beginning, but they ended up having more money
After
yeah, because they didn't have to spend money on all that other stuff.
Mhm.
Meaning taking her out and then watching her spend money. They just locked down and did, you know, focused on themselves and their hobbies.
they were able to build it back up. Yeah. But that's every day that you don't do that. And it's not me advocating divorce, but that's another day of some more money that's gonna be going on.
Oh yeah. No. So when you split a household, it kills everybody. It hurts everybody because now your salary's paying for two houses instead of just one. So it's still painful. I ain't gonna say that, but
yeah, I've seen it happen many times. It's I don't know. When I saw that story, I was like, man, this is a cold world. Cold world.
You know what? He won't be homeless though. It's us that'll be homeless. I'm talking about Dre.
Dre.
Dre
about Dre. Dre's straight. He gonna be straight, but sometimes, like you said, peace of mind.
Priceless.
Man, it's like, how do you know to trust somebody?
You don't, man.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't really trust. You can't really trust because of how you looked at as just a ATM.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on that level.
Yeah.
So you marry her, you let her, she has access to your money the whole time she's married. So she's living a great life. Especially when you have this kind of money.
Right.
Then when she says, I had enough fun with you and I'm tired, I need to move on, try something different. I'm gonna take you to court and my next life, you're gonna pay for that.
Thank you.
With you. And ask me to do anything. Don't call me about anything. I don't want to hear.
Make sure that money on
I get to watch 300,000. Hey, I get to watch You take 300,000 a month, walk out of my bank account to my ex-wife?
For life.
Wait a minute. Hey, that's like $3,000 a
Somebody got
day.
I'm sorry. If I see 300,000 every month and I can't even call this woman for nothing, man, she better off.
Can't make me a
Somebody
sound
else
for
will get
nothing.
300,000 real bad.
That's
You understand what I'm saying?
$10,000 a
And
day.
she hits.
Yeah, that's
I
10
mean,
grand
God.
a day, ain't it?
Yeah.
If it was a mob, that's what they would do. They take her out. They're not gonna pay her $300,000 a month just for her to do whatever the hell she want to do. Come on, man.
How do you spend 10,000 a day anyway?
Because the man lets you do it. That's how he could keep her. I guess I don't know what was going on there, man, but that's just
Yeah, I just think about what that does to you mentally. Even beyond, because like it's because my thing, somebody, people say, oh, he's straight, or some even say she deserves more money, but I'm like, scratch all that. Your mentality to ask for $2 million a month, the mentality, or what's that, and even what that's doing to your mentality, like, oh, I got to pay this forever. It's like, so why go into this situation? It's kind
guys
of
with that kind of money just shouldn't even get married.
That's the sad part. You stuck.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's
Stuck.
unfortunate. Yeah, you can't. You gotta
Can't
work.
trust nobody.
Nah.
Can't trust nobody. Then you can't go sleep with somebody fornicating.
Right.
You stuck in a rock in a hard place. You gotta marry somebody, man. I want to find me a blind woman.
A blind woman.
Why not? She can't see the money. She can't see.
About the money you got.
No, she can't see. She can't buy nothing. She can't.
Oh,
I love you, baby. She don't care about them diamonds. She can't see them.
She gonna be feeling that purse like, is this a Birkin bag? This not real. This a knockoff.
It's gonna be
It's
selling
somebody that
braille
can
on the
see y'all
bag.
tell her. Trust me. She'll believe him.
She
Somebody
sleeps
that-
10 hours a day.
You know he took you
How you
shopping at
spend
Kmart.
16,000? Okay, let's say she
He's like, is that 10 grand a day?
That's 10 grand a day. But let's say she out the house for 10 hours a day. How do you spend $1,000 an hour? You know what? Now I'm hurting for Dre. I'm hurting when you break. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's rough out here, brother. It's rough out here.
I got a friend, man. He just has truck. Just one semi truck.
Mm-hmm.
Had a baby. Wasn't married. I think by the time they got married, son may have been, I'll just say 5 or 6. Okay? No, they weren't even married then. I can't remember what age it was, but just say it was 10. It was 10. But she had to ask him, "I want you married." And he just told her, "I'm scared. But I work hard for it."
That one truck.
And that one truck, a house.
Absolutely, yes.
Whatever cars he had, whatever. He just said that's his business. He worked hard for it. He's scared. He said because what he see is when divorce comes, he when she walks away, he lost half. That's what he's saying. And said, I'm taking your money. I want that. He said, well, you'll sign a prenup. Move forward. You agree, But when he was telling me that, I mean, but he was telling me that it was just his train of thought and the way he was thinking that I was mad at him. And I was like, why you ain't talk to me and tell me some stuff like this? You know what I'm saying? Why you didn't try to educate me about things like this? When you saw me making these moves, why weren't you? He said, hey, brother, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Because he can come to me and say, hey, the things that you were talking about when we were teenagers, you were telling me, hey, man, you need to do this, you need to do that. Hey, man, hey, get motivated, man. Come on, you know, whatever, you know. He said those are the things that I guess he had mentally stored away that got him to where he is now, made him go out there and take risks. You know, kind of upset with him.
That's bad.
So why you ain't tell me? Yeah, brother. Yeah, that's tough, man.
Need some advice.
Right. I just, yes, it's trouble when I look at it. You know, thankful I'm not in that position, but I also look at other men and just see what's going on in general, and I'm just like, this is not right. You know, this is not right, and men just suffering in silence, and it was funny, not funny, but I saw a sister. She was saying, because this came up, and they was like, "Well, no, you can't expect her to lower her standard of living. What do you expect her to do?" And one of the brothers said, "Get a job." Oh no, she'll never do that. And then he said, "Wait a minute, are men and women equal?" He said, like, yeah. He said, "Well, this switch the table. What about if you made all that money and then your husband wanted half?" And you know what she said? She said, "Oh no, I will off him. I'm not paying nobody half." I was like,
Double standard.
Yeah, so it's so basically this is about the acquisition of power. When you talk about equality, it's not about equality. Because if it was about equality, it wouldn't just be in the CEOs equality, it wouldn't just be in STEM, it'd also be plumbers and oil rigs, garbage men, you'd have garbage women. You know, so you wouldn't just have female doctors, you'd have women who the equal amount working in all these other fields that men usually dominate because they don't want those jobs. But it's not about that, it's about the acquisition of power. And so men have been moved out of their natural position, you know. So now you go to court. These men, these men of such a high status. You got to you could make all that, man. You would think, oh, you ain't gonna have these problems, but you a high status, and your wife go out, she dealing with some other guy, and you make millions of dollars a year.
What did Dre's wife do before he married her?
Lawyer.
Oh.
Lawyer. Yeah, but she wasn't. I don't believe she was practicing like, you know what I'm saying. But she was a lawyer.
He married a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's tough.
What'd you say, bro?
He messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, he messed up. Yeah.
She had it planned out.
Yeah, until he messed up.
Yeah.
You should have go to school.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if anybody had anything else before we shut it down. Nothing else.
Everybody watch their family.
Say again.
I was just say everybody take care of their family. That's all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy right now.
Yeah. Gotta be wise out here to make smart decisions. Yeah.
So are we about to get hit with another
shutdown?
Yeah, like is this getting that serious?
I think that probably depends. You're talking about the lockdown, right?
Right, with this new variants they have.
I think it's probably so. Depends on what guy.
They seem like they sending a different message out this time, because the NFL told people, get your players vaccinated, or if you can't field the team, you lose the game. The SEC said that. And basically, I'm hearing people saying the country ain't got the stomach for another shutdown. So
and they blaming it all on the unvaccinated.
Man.
This is prime time for unvaccinated. Listen, we are the public enemy number one. This is what it's about to come to.
Wow.
And it's sad, man, because I watched a lot of news clips and everybody talking, well, it's in the unvaccinated community. It's them. The finger pointing is happening right now. That's what's happening. Finger pointing. It's just going to get to a point where this variant going to come out, booster possibly going to come out, and some new shot going to come out. and it's going to be mandatory out the gate, possibly. I'm just, me, with my hat. But these things is getting out of control. It's out of control, and unvaccinated is to blame. At least that's what they're saying, because I'm pretty sure majority of the people that's getting, or equally, I'm going to say split in half, people who are getting sick are vaccinated as well. They're just not showing those numbers because it would go against everything they're saying. So a lot of vaccinated, because I work with people who are vaccinated and they're turning up sick.
Really?
A lot of them going home early. I ain't feeling too good. I'm double masking now. It's gotten it's to the point where I'm double masking.
It's running through your plant.
People are just like, yo, I'm not feeling well. Going, and these are people who got the jab or I ain't feeling well. I'm going home. These are young people. You normally don't see them go home. Not for not feeling well. All of a sudden, it's just like popping up out of nowhere. So they could point it at me all they want. I know the truth. I think I know the truth. But
Does anybody remember? It was an interview. It was a doctor, and they were asking him about the vaccine. This was before they started giving it out. But I remember him saying something like he was so happy about it because it had like some kind of genetic changing components or something in it. Anybody else see that interview? I was trying to find it so I could send it to you, but I couldn't find it.
I don't know, brother. They are removing so many videos. I watched the documentary the other day. I might have to send it to y'all, brothers, because it's not on the tube. It was removed about this whole situation. It made me buy a book. I just bought. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna say the name. I'll show it to you, though.
nice.
I just purchased this book here. I'm reading now. I just got it. Can y'all see that?
I read that book.
Hold.
It's going.
Yeah, that book is buck wild.
Yeah, I just got it. I'm reading that now. But yeah, brother, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. It was funny because I went out and today to the store, and it was like last time I went out, hardly anybody had any masks on. This time it was about half and half. I was like, man. So, but yeah, as far as it being a shutdown, I would not be surprised. I think it's going to be more. Some places have already re-implemented the mask mandate. And I think it's going to depend on where you're at in the country. And it is what it is. But I mean, quite frankly, this is an experiment.
Facts.
If you haven't figured that out yet, this is an experiment. This is not, and there's no liability if something goes wrong.
Yeah, it is, because
pardon me, brother.
They learn from the cigarette industry. Make sure no liabilities.
Nah, yeah, none. I mean, wait, say that. What'd you say? Say that.
I said they learn from the cigarette industry. Remember what happened in with the cigarette industry, right? Lawsuits after lawsuits. I think it's in the 80s when one of the guys came out and talked about they put in stuff in the cigarettes, make people get addicted to the cigarettes. Mm-hmm. Somebody will talk in the future, but you can't sue them.
The Warner labels is on.
You know, my father, he retired from one of the huge Fortune 500 companies, right? That
really
manufactured cigarettes, yes. And he told years ago, because this time he was a regional manager for one of these companies. That was growing up. It was funny. You saw me. I was walking around with a Marlboro Man's t-shirt on, a cool backpack. I had all that stuff. Caps, everything had cigarettes. You think everything had cigarettes on. I mean everything.
But
Anything
the
you
crazy thing,
could think of. It had one cigarette brand or another. But anyway,
and I knew
said,
that was
hey,
true, right?
what's that?
But go ahead. I knew that was true. I didn't stuff to the cigarette because my grandmother smoked tobacco since she was like 18.
But go ahead.
You know, we used to back in the islands, we grew tobacco and they would sell it home, and people would smoke that, and no addiction. And the only problem she had was a hyperinflated lungs, and the doctor tell her stop smoking, and she stopped. She had no withdrawal, no problem like that. Smoking the raw tobacco that you get from the curing house. But then cigarettes, men smoking 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 packs a day. Right?
Facts.
men smoking them. They're serious thing, isn't it? Cigarette, men smoke. I see men smoke cigarette till their fingers turn yellow.
Mm. but listen, brother. What I was about to say was because of course that's a nicotine in it.
Mm-hmm.
But my father said, well, one thing, if you go back to some of those advertisements, you talk about how people are brainwashed. You go back in the day, you can see advertisements with like it'll have a picture of a doctor on there in his lab coat, if you will. And he said, I smoke a pack or 2 packs a day. And it's a doctor. So when my father told me they knew that those lawsuits, they knew years in advance that eventually they were going to be held accountable for these lawsuits. So all they did, they had this massive fund because they were making so much money because everybody's buying it is addicted. Oh. So he said they had a massive fund in place many years before those lawsuits even came on the scene. Because they knew they were going to have to pay. That's just the cost of doing business.
Mm-hmm.
Bean counters.
The cost of doing business. This is what they're going to, this is how much money you need to put in the van and keep selling these cigarettes. They sell, you can buy cigarettes today. I mean, you can't smoke everywhere, but you think about it. You got all these harsh additives and dangerous additives to these cigarettes, even something that will make you addicted. People, man, you ever seen people trying to quit smoking? Anxiety, gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
Do those same companies the Nicorette, the things to help you try to get away from it too? Or...
That'd be diabolical. I don't know that one.
They got something.
They came up with the problem and the cure, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
Man, that sound like Fauci.
Bro, you shouldn't have a vested interest in what you're doing.
No,
unethical.
Because you bias to it. You
yeah.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm.
There's one.
And who gonna suffer? We're gonna suffer. The people. I had to send y'all this documentary. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But man, it was like, it's like we like just sheep, but we like smurfs to these people. We like, the stuff that's on the bottom of your shoe. By the mat, this is, that's just 100,000. They died. It's all.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's how they act.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But the border opened up by me on the 9th of August. I can't come to you, but you guys could cross over.
I ain't crossed over and can't get back.
Yo, I heard you got a lot of wildfires over there too, right?
You go over there, they're gonna lock you up.
Man, the moon up here was like red.
You got a lot of fire going on over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're bringing up Mexicans to help them.
Yeah,
burning.
They just use the prisoners. We'll take a day off your sentence if you go out and risk your life and fight this wildfire. 1 day.
$1.
$1 and 1 day off your sentence.
$1 in the dream.
Yeah, brother. So you say you can come to Canada?
Yeah, I can't come over though because apparently the Americans don't want you to mix the vaccine. They be mixing it up here, right? One Pfizer, one from the other company, Moderna. But in my city, we have no COVID in the hospital and about 4 cases in the city so far. Some days there's no cases. But the finger pointing, as what brother Willie said, it is real. I am getting it. I even got an email from one of my jobs saying like they didn't receive my receipt from the government, didn't receive the receipt saying I get the COVID or not. So I said I didn't get the COVID. So I had to fill out a survey with my name and my address, basically getting them a whole bunch of information. So they know this thing is it's too diabolical to be real. You know, I don't know why people didn't push back.
Yeah, because you got a critical think to push back.
They can make it real and still.
And making it real through everything's real through media, through the media,
Right.
through your search engines. They're dictating what reality is and telling you what it is. And you turn every channel and you seeing every tweet,
Radio, everywhere.
The same thing. You'll turn on the radio and you'll hear Chris Brown. Next thing you know, you'll hear the disc jockey talking about how you need to get the jab.
Yeah.
Then you go someplace, they serving, they giving you chicken for the jab. Hey man, you want some lottery tickets? Hey man, they doing everything.
Bribing you. Ain't this something?
But
They trying to say you trying to save my life, but you got to bribe me to save my life. That was not right.
And we care about you the most, really. We care about Black people the most. I saw Bill's wife talking about, who really needs it the most are Blacks and Indigenous. I said, when in the world you start caring about some Negroes and some Indians?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
If there's 2 groups you ain't never gave a damn about, it was these Negroes and these Indians.
We got bribe people to go to PTA meetings though.
Yeah, it's a little bigger than the PTA meeting, bro.
I agree with you saying, but this bribing people.
Yeah, it's bad.
You got to bribe people to take care of their own blame yards. So.
You see, but what bothers me is that there's something called patient-centered care, right? If you go into a hospital and like many occasions, patient would say, I do not want this injection. I do not want that injection. After you explain it and you show them the risk and the benefits of having the injection, right? And they would refuse, right? Some people have cancer like hell and they would refuse. No, I don't want it. I can't force them. And all of a sudden, the same people who telling me I must practice patient-centered care is telling me it's forcing down this vaccine on my throat. I mean, it's baffling. It for me, it's scary. It seems planned and rehearsed, right? It seems like it's a script that passed out to everyone around the world, and some people know what's going on, and some people benefiting from it.
But you think the real test
that is my opinion. Right?
But you think more compliance is the real test? What it takes to get people compliant. Okay.
I say, this is data gathering, man. They're gathering data on how we behaving and how this. I strongly believe this pointing towards something in the future that the Bible talk about. Right? I strongly believe in that. So.
Just sent y'all the name of the documentary and where you can find it. Because if I mention it, it might get, you know what I'm saying? Because if they took it off of YouTube.
Brother, I don't get your text, You
didn't get the text?
Your text don't come international. Your text like it's on a quarantine from Canada. So.
They
Go to
quarantine my
Canada, Elijah.
Yeah, your text never come. I
You
never
didn't
get
get
your
mine
text.
either?
They'll lock you up.
Oh, I never get your text. It's Willie had a text. Teach coming on tonight, Willie.
Wait, y'all brothers get it? I just sent it.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
I got it. I'll put it in
No,
the
okay, all right.
I'll
Yeah,
put it in
Austin,
the
get
chat.
it. Yeah.
What'd you say?
I'll put it in the iPhone
Man,
chat.
I saw this. I saw this
Here
already.
you go with that.
my bad.
Got the iPhone 30.
Nah.
Nah,
Brother,
Appreciate
I saw this video.
you already saw
I
it.
saw it.
Did you
Yeah.
watch? Did you watch the pre one? That was the interview.
The interview with the guy with the bow tie.
Okay, that's the first. That's like the whole thing, but it was one where it's just the interview. It's like 25 minutes, and the other one's like an hour and some change.
I think I watched the one-on-one.
You watched
like,
longer, probably.
Yeah, and man, these guys, that scare me when the man say, you're not supposed to patent something that occurs naturally
In nature.
That I was shocked. My jaw hit the ground. Yeah, and he said it's illegal both ways, right? Because then you mess with it and patent it, and guess who in the center of all that? The big F. He in the center of it. That was shocking.
Is that it? Is that it? What I just sent?
Man, I got a lot.
I think I got that on my phone. I had it like saved on my phone, like in my. You sent it to me, brother Isaiah.
Yeah.
Long time.
Long. Yeah.
A year ago.
Yes. Probably it's from a year.
Oh yeah, this year.
So when I saw it, I hadn't seen it. When I saw it, I purchased this book because that's who it's around. But yeah, it's something. I really didn't want to say it because I know they'll flag it, maybe.
Yeah, it's still on YouTube though.
No, it's not. It's people debunking. It's people debunking it. Unless I missed it.
Well,
because I know they took it off. Because they were even taking off interviews that were done.
Man, they're taking off everything on every social media that really.
Okay, so the first one, debunk. How these conspiracies spread, excuse me. Mother debunk, verify, conspiracy, total nonsense, conspiracy, debunk, conspiracy. I don't see it.
Does it say, is it like an actual movie or like a documentary?
It's a documentary. It's like you will watch it. Yeah, it's a documentary.
I got well, these look like some movies, so yeah, this can't be it then.
It's on BitChute.
Okay, I had to go there then because this is.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna have to go. Because I couldn't find it unless I missed it. But everything was like debunk. Conspiracy.
Okay.
You know. Well, if there's nothing else, brothers, I'm gonna go ahead and
show you now. But now I'm gonna be up all day looking for this movie.
It's on.
I think if you just copy and paste like that and directly in a browser, it'll take you to it. There's one on here. It's like an hour and 1 minute and 26 seconds.
It's something like that. It's like an hour or so. Let me go to it.
Is it like a picture of like a horse on there?
No, brother. What you watch?
I got lost.
What is he watching?
I
It's like
didn't
it's
even
like
know. I didn't know that kind of company exists. The guy
Yeah.
in Butai, when he was, I was shocked. I was like, what? You know, when he start describing what his company does, and then he
Yeah.
tell you, I said, I didn't even know them thing exists.
Right.
He start, and what make him so authentic is how he start telling you how the company started with when IBM put all that stuff online,
it's on
and then he
freedom.
tell you,
Hold on. Let me hold on 1 second, bro.
yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, he was man, they had Nobel laureates on there. You see, this is it right here. These are the two right here.
That one, the second one I saw.
This one, okay, so this is the one that came on before.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that comes up. All right. Don't say anything else.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, brother. Yeah, let me know what y'all think after y'all.
Watch that.
Yep. All right then, brother. Get off of here.
All right, Jim.
All right. Peace, everybody. Have a
Yeah.
safe week.
Peace, everyone.
See y'all tomorrow.
Peace. See y'all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.